a faffing around video as always. So I made a I had a go at making a polenta pizza last year. It was nice, but it didn't kind of turn out exactly how I wanted it. So it's always been at the back of my mind, like how could I have another go at it, and how could I make it better? And the problem was that it kind of fell to bits. So the polenta wasn't particularly very hard when it was cooked, so it wanted to fall to kind of bits. So it kind of worked. It tasted delicious. It was nice. I ate it, but I kind of wanted it to be more of a solid thing. So I kind of thought it needed some kind of like reinforcement, like reinforced concrete type of thing. You know, when you put metal bars in it. So I was thinking, oh well, and I've been faffing around with other things. So like a frittata that had a potato base to it, and it worked out really well, like a potato rosti. And then I was frying some cheese for an experiment the other week, and you can make Parmesan tuiles. And then I was kind of thinking, oh well, I wonder if we could make a Parmesan tuile, well, a hard Italian cheese, this isn't Parmesan, but like a hard base that we can then put the softer polenta on top, and then kind of it will hold together. So this is my idea, that we'll make a hard cheese, well, let's call it Parmesan. We'll make a Parmesan tuile. It's not Parmesan, it's the cheap hard Italian cheese that I buy from the supermarket for the purpose of cooking. For no other reason. I don't eat it, I just use it to cook with, because if I'm faffing around with things, it can get, if I'm buying a good enough quality Parmesan that I would actually eat, it starts getting a bit expensive. So I always tend to go for cheap stuff, and then it kind of keeps the cost down while I'm faffing around. So I'm going to make a Parmesan crisp, which is pretty straightforward. It's just basically grated hard Italian cheese. We're going to turn it over, we're going to crisp it on one side, we're going to turn it over, and then we're going to crisp it on the other. That will be the base for the polenta. Also, because it's going to have it's going to have like a hard base to it, it means that we can get away with the polenta being softer. So, like hard polenta, it's not as nice. So if we can stick with the softer polenta, it will make it nicer to eat. So, and then it will have like a cheesy base to it, which I kind of think will be kind of quite nice. So there's 100 grams worth of cheese in there. I think it needs a bit more. There's a lot of fat coming out of it, which is definitely down to the age of the cheese. So older, harder cheeses, not as much fat comes out of them, but a lot of fat's coming out of that, but it doesn't matter. So we just need it to become solid enough that I can flip it over. We'll pour off that fat that comes out of it, and we'll put that in the polenta. That'll be nice, won't it? So we can get away with not putting any butter in the polenta, we can use that fat. That'll be nice, won't it? So I think I want a bit more cheese in the centre. So let's call it another 20 grams. Just so it's like a solid base. Does that weigh 20 grams? It's important that I get my recipes right. Yes, about 20 grams. So just a little bit more cheese in the centre, just to kind of reinforce it. So 130 grams. We could do even more, but that'll be fine. So now stick it underneath the grill. Probably won't. So turn the heat back up. Once it goes crispy enough that we can flip it over, and then use that as a base. So it's not sticking to the pan, so that's okay. Just doing that. I'll probably use a little bit too much cheese, but we'll see how it goes. So I'll pause and we're back when I'm about to flip it over. Oops, I think we need to get rid of some of that cheese fat, which is going to be delicious, but I think it's stopping it from just firming up. Cheese butter? Cheese fat? I don't know. Probably should pop it underneath the grill, but I don't know. I'm only faffing around. That's a suitable excuse that I always can use, isn't it? I'm playing about, therefore if anything goes wrong, I'm not entirely to blame, am I? Ooh. Is this non-stick pan really non-stick anymore? Ooh, don't want to do that. Okay, so turn the heat off. I don't want to cook anymore before I flip it over. I think this is going to work once we get it away from it. And so, flip over. Turn the center back on. Just to crisp up the other side. I've used too much cheese. Certainly not a Parmesan tweed. But you get the idea. So cook that, brown it on the other side, and then it will go crisp, and then we can use that as a base. How does this taste? Like clarified butter, ghee. That's what that tastes like. So turn that down a bit. So that's going to go into the polenta, and it'll enrich it so we don't need to add any butter. We might just add a bit more cheese to the polenta, but we've got plenty of that. But that's going to be crispy enough that it holds the polenta pizza together. It'd be nice to have the tartar as well. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Have a Parmesan twirl on the bottom of your frittata. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That's something we can do. Do you know, there's always more ideas, isn't there? I do something and it creates another idea to do on another day. But that will work. So, carry on cooking that. And the next bit is when I'll be making the polenta and such. So let's put this thing together. So, I've got 100. I'm not going to use all this polenta. I'm going to use 1 part polenta to 2 parts water, and I put a chicken stock cube in. So there's 170 grams worth of polenta. And so we're going to add this. I might add some cheese. I'm not going to add any cheese to it, but I am going to add that fat that came out of the hard Italian cheese. I'm not bothered if it goes a little bit lumpy. And we'll see how it thickens up. If it needs a bit of cheese in it, if it needs a bit of hard cheese in it. And then just cook it until it thickens up. I've got a spoon, so I'll get this. I'm not going to waste that bit of hard cheese fat. Normally I put butter in polenta. Well, it's semolina, but you know, all the same thing, isn't it? Let's be honest. So the grill's on. It's in the oven. Don't think it'll need any seasoning. The things we're going to put on it. Get the cheese off the spoon. A bit of salt. A bit of salt. And then I'm going to use half of that, I think. Right, so that off. Away. Creating more sharp. A little bit soft. Probably just be a bit thicker. Let's just see if it works. So I could go on forever, but I'm more interested to see if the actual principle of this works, rather than getting a recipe right for it. So spread the polenta. Pizza. Yeah, that's about the right amount. I could have got away with less. Maybe. So that out of the way. Then I'll use that teaspoon. I've licked it, but it doesn't matter. Some leftover tomato sauce. What was it from? Oh, I did. It was a bacony dish. So that's about a dessert spoonful. A dessert spoonful worth of tomato sauce of some description, and then it looks alright. And then how much? It's 120 grams worth of cheap mozzarella, I think. 120, yeah, it's 125 grams of cheap mozzarella. So this, and then you have to decide if you want to put some hard cheese on top. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. So I'm going to put some pepper on. Ooh, I have got some wild garlic pesto in the fridge that I made last year. As in, like, not last wild garlic season, but the season before that. So I didn't make any. When is it, flour? I didn't make any this year. I made it last year. So this is like 18 months old, something like that. Grilled on. Okay, so it's about 18 months old. So as you can see, that's latter, isn't it? So a little bit of wild garlic pesto, and I think we might just put a little bit of, grate a little bit of the hard Italian cheese on top, just out of interest. Just do that, Don't lick my finger. I'm just end up tasting garlic. And then just a few scrapes of hard Italian cheese on top. Same stuff we made out of the base. Just a few little bits. Not much. And then just the pepper. And then underneath the grill. So the polenta's hot. So that's all it should need. It should just go underneath the grill and kind of melt the cheese and see how it turns out. Well, pause, because it'll take about 5 minutes, something like that. Right, let's have a look. That's okay, isn't it? Turn that off. It's going to need a bit. See if we can get it out of here. Well, that's going to be a problem. Oh. Not crispy though, is it? Alright, okay, so the cheese has made the polenta's made the cheese soft. So that's not going to work. As an idea, it's not going to work. Not to worry. Not to worry. Still going to eat it. Still going to eat it. Right, that's right. I'm going to say that's a bit of taste. It's going to be nice, isn't it? And we should have a picture. Let's have a picture in that state and see how it looks. Taking a picture, so that's okay. Oh no, see, look. That's okay. So it was just as it came out of the pan, it was just a little bit soft. So it just had a little bit of time just to firm up. Oh, there we go. There we go, okay. So it's just had a bit of time to firm up as it's come out of the pan. Okay. So looks like we have. See, it's holding together. So I'll have a go at picking up a piece in a minute. I just want to taste. Mmm. It's delicious, isn't it? Of course it is. I mean, it's cheese and polenta and more cheese and a bit of tomato and wild garlic pesto. But hold together. Look, so you can actually pick it up like a pizza. Let's sacrifice a bit and turn it over so you can see what it looks like on the bottom. So it's got that crust to it. So that works. That works. Which also begs the question that we're certainly going to have to do a frittata in the same way. But yeah, that works. And it solves the problem of it just being, before it was just like a bit of grilled, like polenta that was grilled, and it just kind of had no kind of form to it. It just kind of fell to bits as you tried to pick it up. But that works. There we go. A success. I don't know what practical is it. Is polenta gluten free? Is it? I don't know. But anyway, an interesting experiment all the same. You could do it with potato as well, couldn't you? Like cheese on the bottom, and then like even mashed potato or Lay's potatoes, and then that kind of topping on it again. But anyway, I'm thinking about other things now. But anyway, success. I'm happy with that. It works.